Alright guys, in order to develop your understanding, okay, try when you want to draw basically, okay, the shapes of the eyes, the nose and the lip itself, okay, I'm going to show you guys basically one of the basic structures, how actually going to start to draw all these kind of elements all together there, okay. So first of all right, I'm using charcoal because it's easy for me to enhance a bit more on my strokes there, right, okay. Other than I'm using this pencil there, okay, or color pencil at the same times. All right, I want to show you guys how it works, okay. The basic shapes, okay, all the shape basically, okay, when you draw eyes, nose basically came from a basic structure there. For example, if I want to draw basically, right, those eyes, okay, I'm going to start with this kind of three different kind of line there, okay. One, the curved line there, okay, from the right side here, okay, right, and then two, okay. Can you see, okay, I actually try two and three there, right, okay. So if we take a look at the movements, okay, that I made basically to draw this shape basically, okay, they are going to be used a lot, okay, when you start to draw any different kind of shape of those eyes there, okay, later on. All right, the pupil basically is not basically a full circle there. They're going to be half or quarter out of it, right, okay. So take a look how actually I move my hands, okay, not hesitate there, right, but draw carefully there, okay, to draw those shapes of those eyes there, right. But at the same time, don't press too much there, okay. Either you're using pencils or you're going to use tablet later on. Don't press too much there. How about the eyebrow there, okay. Check the alignment of those eyebrow over here. So I'm going to draw the shapes of it there first. Very light kind of shapes there, right, those eyebrows. And if I want to develop this kind of movements of the strokes, the fur line for the hair, for the eyebrow there, okay, I'm going to draw something like this one. Okay, don't press too much. Use the flows of those hairline there, okay, to work on it. Don't press too much. If you have a sharpened kind of charcoal or pencil there, it's more better there, okay. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes. Most of the mistake, the common mistake, okay, when they start to draw the hairline or any kind of fur line, okay, they start to press too much, okay, on the strokes there, okay, on the stroke itself, okay. So they can't basically improve basically on or improvise or refine back again those kind of hairline because they have pressed too much from there. Of course, from the photos that you have right now, right, you can't see basically the iris on that, right. So I actually going to use this kind of methods that you work, okay. I'm going to draw a full shape of those iris like this first, right, the full shapes of it, right. And then what I can do, can you see the highlights over here, right, the highlight there, right. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to leave the highlight kind of areas and then I'm going to render them up, okay, but not too much, okay, on the iris there. And same goes some of the area because from the photos basically we consider the light that actually form basically from the shapes of those pupil there, okay. What I can do, I can actually re-improvise the shapes over here to make it the highlights, okay, in two different kind of spot there, right. And then I'm going to render up like this one there, right. Slowly render them, okay, those eyes using this kind of methods there, okay, those etching here. So it's not that hard basically to add the realistic kind of shapes of those eyes there, right, okay, or rendered basically eyes there, okay. But you need to practice your hands to improve your kind of drawing strokes there first. Those are the first thing that you have to remember when you start to draw them, right, okay. So between two eyes normally, all right, between two eyes there's a one eye basically in the middle to have the measurement right, okay, to have the measurement right. All right, So the front kind of parts of those eyes, okay, are going to be in line with the nose there, okay. The lips, okay, the end of the lips there, okay, and mouth, okay, they're going to be in line with the middle of those eyes. All right, remember that when you draw this. So if you draw some imaginary kind of reference, they're going to be the same there, right? Okay. So see how actually I move the hands, okay, through three different kind of line, curved line that made basically those eyes there, right? And the shapes of the eyes normally look like a fish there, okay, are going to be look like a shape of the fish there, right? From front view. Don't press too much. I think you actually can draw basically the tips of those eyes there, right? Okay, it's a bit more detail from there. Same goes to this part there, right? The iris there. Draw the whole kind of what we call that iris, and leave the directions of the highlight is going to be the same. And then we're going to render a bit more, right, darker right here. And I'm using this kind of method, okay, to move the strokes there, right? Okay, mix your kind of methods of rendering those strokes there. That's how it goes. I think these are basically a bit more smaller there, okay? So the best way basically for you guys when you draw there, okay, normally, okay, please make sure that you can actually analyze your mistakes. Like I'm going to draw those eyebrows over here. If you can analyze your mistakes there, okay, it's good for you to develop that kind of understanding. So see how actually I draw the eyebrows over here. I'm not going to press too much to add this kind of volume of tone at the same time here, right? Okay, then the nose itself, okay, the nose are going to be the measure on the nose there, okay. Sorry there, right? So they're going to be this part there, right? And basically this part is basically the nose. So I'm going to draw one big circle in the middle and a small circle, okay, side by side there, okay, and I'm going to cut it over here, the shapes, to draw the structures of those nose there first. There. Okay, draw slowly there to work on that. Right? Then you get the nose shapes. Don't look into the photographies or the sample that you have there, okay, directly from your mind understanding there, okay. Look carefully what type of element of line basically they've been developed from those structures over here. That's how actually you can actually improve more on your understanding there. A lot of people make a lot of mistake basically, okay. They start to draw that what we call that their own reference, okay, their own subject matters were basically based from what they thought they're, okay, what they think they're, right, okay. Half of those before basically we get the chin there, right, okay, half of those alignments are going to be the mouth there, right. So what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to draw the best thing basically, you can draw the shapes of the mouth there first, and then you draw the shapes of the lips there, okay, the top areas. And also don't combine these two different kind of line all together, okay. Lower lips and after and then lower lips and then upper lips doesn't have to be combined all together there, because if you combine the liner, okay, they become a bit more like a, you paste the what we call that the lips, okay, on top of those faces there. It look like that, all right. They're going to be looks something like that, all right. So you don't have to basically, I did a lot of mistakes, a few mistakes right here there, okay, it's okay. Because normally sometimes, okay, you have to focus when you draw there, right? I just want to show you guys some of the methods that you guys can use basically there, okay, to develop your understanding right here, right? If you don't apply that, right, okay, it's hard for you to make some sort of like improvement on your understanding here. Look carefully to your subject matters while you draw the shapes that actually form every single element of those faces there, right? And then you start to draw them back. Simple as that, okay? And of course, okay, you can render them, right, the shadows kind of form, okay? You didn't have to draw the whole kind of what we call that line that form basically the nose there, okay? Normally we're going to add some shadings over here, right? Shadings there, okay, not the line there, okay, not line there, okay, but shadings there to form basically those structures of the faces there, okay, the form of the faces there, right? Same goes to this part there, right? Same goes to this part there. See the formations of the shadows right here, okay? So render there, okay, the shadows kind of areas there, okay, that form basically the nose. Don't have to draw the whole line there, okay? Because a lot of people, when they draw the line, they become a bit more weird on the shapes itself there, right? So this is how it goes. Okay, I love to use these kind of methods, okay, especially for the beginners there, okay, without any kind of cross hatching, whatever that you want to experiment, okay, with the strokes itself, because easy for you guys to understand, okay, for the beginners to work. Hopefully can be more easy, okay. But if you want to experiment different kind of strokes, go ahead, okay. But make sure you understand the basic structures, right, okay, the formations there of the whole understanding, how actually you're going to form that kind of strokes into your drawings. Otherwise, use a basic kind of shadings like these, right, using the circle kind of line there to work with it, okay, first, before you're going to do any fancy kind of methods to work there, right? Because for me there, okay, when I actually try to develop a bit more kind of understanding on my works, okay, even though, okay, I haven't actually draw all these kind of methods, okay, all this kind of drawing for a while, okay, but when I go back into some exercise, some drawings like this, okay, I'm always going to apply basically back again the fundamental, how actually going to start to draw them back again, okay, without having a lot of fancy kind of strokes there first. Okay. So charcoal, compressed charcoal or charcoal pencil is one of the best kind of mediums other than pencil for you guys to start to redraw or start to develop the kind of understanding back again. Okay, so that's it there, right? So of course, okay, you want to draw basically some sort of like the faces itself there, okay, check back again the alignment over here. Okay, same goes to the side there, right?